Hello, beloved friends, and happy Sabbath to all of you out there. And to my colleagues here to my left is Sheila Hodgkins, Pastor Mark Etchell of the Campus Hill Church here in Loma Linda. Actually, he's the senior pastor.
Yes.
And Bob Blancato, who's our public relations officer.
Hello.
Welcome to all of you. We've had a very busy week, and this is Week in Review, where we share information with our viewers. Sheila, you have verse of the day for us?
I do. It's found in John 3:18. There is no judgment against anyone who believes in him, but anyone who does not believe in him has already been judged for not believing in God's one and only Son.
Pastor, what's your take on this verse?
Well, I think of a poster that I had when I was in high school that said, "Not to decide is to decide." And, it works in a lot of ways. If you're on the freeway and you don't decide to take the off-ramp, you just keep going straight. And if you are in life and you don't decide to choose Christ, you keep going on your own merry way, which may not be good in the end.
It's true. It's true. Pastor, you're with us today because you also happen to present with us on Christian Connections.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share the flavor of your sermon with our viewers?
Yes, the flavor of the sermon essentially is we are stuck in waiting right now. And there are some people that hate waiting. And I'm one of those. I don't like waiting. And yet there are times where God asks us to wait. And in that waiting time, he does work in our lives that wouldn't normally happen because we stop, we slow down. And I'm not going to talk about it in this sermon. I think of Jesus who would go to the mountains and be alone. And you'd think, well, he could have been healing the sick, but there was something that happened to him in being away. And so for me, for my congregation, for my own personal life, I'm using this time as a time to get recharged in a way that I normally can't. And sometimes to get rid of jobs on my to-do list that seem to always get out of the, and other things get in the way.
Yeah.
And now I'm able to get things done that normally I wouldn't. And I am learning how to use technology because that's how we stay in touch with people.
That's right. Well, it sounds like a very, very interesting sermon. We look forward to hear it.
Thank you.
Bob, when can the viewers tune in and watch the sermon?
Well, you can hear it one more time. That'll be this evening at 6:30 Pacific Time, the final airing of Christian Connections with Senior Pastor Mark Etchell of the Campus Hill Seventh-day Adventist Church. And he is going to talk about hurry up and wait. Sounds like a term that you hear a lot in the business world and other places, but it really has to do with impatience with God's timing, your overriding desire to take matters into your own hand. And he'll be discussing that. It's fascinating, and you will enjoy it. The music will be by a very talented duo, Peter and Aaron Schwelt. It starts tonight, 6:30 p.m., right here on LLBN, Christian Connections.
Thank you, Bob. So, Pastor, your church is local here in Loma Linda.
Local here, we actually were the original church on Mound Hill.
Is that right?
Back in 1905, it began with 8 members. One of them was Ellen G. White, which some people have heard of. And an interesting side note of this story is that the man, Elder Burden, who found the property, wanted to purchase it, and he asked the church headquarters in General Conference if he could buy it, and they said, no, definitely not. He asked Ellen White, she said, go for it, and he went with it, and the rest is history, we should say.
It was an act of faith.
It was an act of faith.
Yeah. You have the opportunity to invite local residents to attend your church, of course, after the COVID-19 is lifted.
They can attend right now by 3 different ways. One is you can go to the internet and just go Campus Hill Church and .net and go to live stream. And there's also archives. You see past sermons. And on 10 o'clock on Saturday morning, we have a Zoom discussion on our lesson for the day. 11 o'clock is worship service. 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday is a prayer meeting time. And Friday evening, we have a full schedule with our young adults. So we are actually have a presence. And also, if you're on Facebook and become friends of the church, or friends with me, because I have a watch party every week. And we've been getting 1,500 people or 1,500 views, which for us is pretty good.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, thank you for offering this invitation to our viewers. Next, we're going to ask Sheila to read for us a letter or two from our viewers.
Yes, from Roy from Paradise, California writes, I see LLBN broadcasts to the Middle East and East Asia. These are areas where millions need to hear about Jesus Christ. Thank you.
Amen. We're glad we can do that as well.
Yeah.
You have another letter?
I do. From Shirley in Irvine, Texas. Randy Roberts is a favorite of mine, as is Pastor Miguel Mendez. Please thank them. Bless everyone at LLBN.
Wonderful. We certainly do that, and we do it regularly because we're so grateful for their weekly partnership with us here on LLBN. Bob, we're going to go back to you once more to tell our viewers what's coming up next week on Christian Connections.
Next week is May 26th. Boy, how the month flies. And Christian Connections returns live at 6 p.m. Pacific time next Tuesday now. And our special guest is going to be Dr. Roger Schultz. Now, that's right. You're not hearing double. This is Peter's brother, Peter, who is performing on Christian Connections this evening. And he is a medical doctor, a pulmonologist, who also speaks God's Word and discusses, as a respiratory specialist, his latest insight into the COVID-19 coronavirus. The music will be by Daniel and Joshua Rotero, good old friends of LLBN. It'll be good to have them back. So that's Christian Connections live next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Thank you, Bob. And back to Sheila once more. Sheila, LLBN, name, what does it stand for?
It stands for Lighting Lives, Blessing Nations, and that is our goal here in LLBN, to spread Jesus' light and love to the world.
And how you see the value of this media outreach?
I see the value. It's, you can't even place a number. It's priceless, so we're desperate to have everyone know the truth. When you know about the love of Jesus Christ, you just don't want to keep it to yourself. You want to share it with everyone.
That's beautiful. How could folks help us to carry the gospel into the world?
Well, it cost $150 an hour just to share the good news with everybody. And, we hope and pray that you will continue to pray with us. And I know it's hard times right now with the COVID-19, but whatever God impresses you, nothing's too small, nothing's too big to share with us. And we hope that you will continue to pray and give your support in any way you can.
Thank you, Sheila. Well, Pastor, we're all volunteers in this ministry like you are with us, and we all part of other organizations, but we come here together to build this worldwide ministry to represent all of our other ministry.
Yes.
We're in the middle of a building project. What would you have to say about our building project to our viewers?
Well, when I think of LLBN, I think of moving to town and seeing this building, and then going over to the gas station, driving by and seeing LLBN up, and I'm thinking, which one is the LLBN that I'm aware of? And so till I came and spoke here, I didn't know what this was. Well, now that I know, I'm thinking, wouldn't it be nice to have everything on the same campus to where everything's being done in one spot? And of course, my guess is you don't own that building, you are leasing it, which means that there's money that's just a drain. And here, once we have the building paid for, the money that is spent on leasing a building can be spent in helping to spread the message.
Correct.
And it's so important because as we have been online more, I have found that there's an individual from England that tunes into our Campus Hill Church worship service every single week. And so I have no clue of his background. I want to get a hold of him and talk with him. And he's a Facebook friend of mine now, so we're going to do that soon.
So it's amazing what media can do.
That's right.
But it takes headquarters,
That's
a
right.
core space, to let that signal just flow out into the world.
And I did notice there's some footings happening.
That's correct.
Yes.
That's correct. And for our viewers, separate from operation cost of $150 per hour to broadcast worldwide, believe it or not, we worked out the math and we crunched some numbers here and there, and we made sure that this project also cost $150 per square foot to be finished. So whether you want to make a gift toward the building project of $150 per square foot, or more, or whether you wish to make your donation to the operation of $150 per hour, that takes us worldwide.
You must be having volunteer labor because $150 a square foot is very reasonable for this area.
Particularly for broadcast
Yes.
center, highly complex, customized
Yes.
data center. It's an excellent investment on the dollar. And yes, thanks to a lot of volunteers, including our contractor and our general contractor, that is, who overseen the project at his own dime. He's donating his time, but also he's our architect and gave us his services for free as well.
Awesome.
But aside from that, there's a lot more money
Yes.
involved in construction beside the volunteers. Cost of concrete, material, permits. Permits alone went from $44,000 to $65,000 just for the permits. But there's a lot goes behind the work of permits to make sure everything done according to the letter of the design of industry,
Yes.
safety, and the law.
Yep.
So we're blessed by Jesus to be given so many opportunities here at LLBN to partner with so many wonderful senior pastors of local churches and music talents and so much more to bless the world. We are reaching 70 million households right now, and with this new data center building, we would more than quadruple our distribution. It's well worth the investment, wouldn't you say, Pastor?
I would say so.
Yeah. So we're excited. And thank you, folks, for making that possible, because all our donations and all giving come straightly from folks like you out there who watch and love the ministry of LLBN. Well, almost on a final thought, Sheila, our prayer lines. Do you have any information on that?
I know that we have people, if you need prayer, that there's a number on the bottom of the screen. And we'd be happy to have us pray for you and prayer requests, as we would love your prayers as well.
The prayer line open from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time.
Pacific time.
Pacific time, very
Pacific
important.
Standard Time.
So thank you all for being with us, and thank you, folks, for following LLBN and making it one of your favorite ministries. May the Lord bless you, bless all that you do, and to keep us in your prayers as we continue sharing the good news of Jesus Christ into the world to millions upon millions who may have heard of Jesus and have not made a commitment to him yet, but also to those who may have never heard of Jesus before. And this would be their opportunity to give their hearts to him. God bless you. We'll see you here next week.